It's a great day for another Strategy Saturday as we go over No, my stupid camera, you bastard. Hold on. Let's fix this. We can fix this rather quickly, and we can get right into the stream. It's a stream of the day, baby, as we get prepared for some man, bear, pig action. I see some great comments in here. The comments are what makes this fun. There it is. I found it. I figured it out. I need to turn off my damn sound on my phone because I'm literally hearing myself double right now, which is, it's not good. Double raspy lesbian voices in your ears in the early morning hours. It's probably not good for your health, and we don't want to fuck around with that right now. I'm very pissed off actually at the moment because I just lost a chess match, which is not unexpected. You know, I do lose some here and there, but I lost to some guy from fucking Iraq. I lost to some like ISIS motherfucker or some shit. Very mad about this. This is a travesty. How could this happen? Anyways, I don't have my helper here today. I don't have Elsa here today. So unfortunately, for the super chats, I need to be very clever in how I pull them up. So I'm gonna write them down in a nice little in a nice little notepad right here, because I do see that there's a couple people already. And what's up? Good to see you. Holy shit, man. Good to see you, Dad Rackus. Good to see you, Tom Struck. 30 months. 30 fucking months. That is insane, man. MQG. I'm going to write that one down as well. And MQG. Yes. MQG. Some Australian shitcoin stock. Who knows what the hell that is, man. Anyways, we'll get into it soon enough. But I do see a great comment here from Sarong. He says, Krown, I still haven't discovered my gender. I'm so confused. By the way, your chart colors are gay. I like them. That's right. It's gay month, so we're representing all of the gays in our charts and in our community as well. Sarang is going to be now enlightened as what his gender will be. It's the gender reveal party, and I'm letting you know right now, all you need to do is just open up your little pants, look down. If it's a pee-pee, you might be a boy. If it's not a PP, you're not a boy. Don't know what else it could be though. Tony Villar says, why did you make Annie Trade cry last night? I was just having a little bit of fun. I mean, she was kind of, I don't know, being a little bit of a dickhead to me on Twitter, but I just responded in light kind and made a little bit of a joke out of it. And to be honest, it was a fucking hilarious situation. It's like this person creates a very long post, like basically disparaging us, being like, look, I don't have that much time, and so I need to curtail my YouTube watch list. I already have 6 channels that I watch every day, but could you show me some new YouTubers? It's like, you don't see the irony in this, lady, do you? Do you? Take a fucking chill pill, huh? Anyways, it was a fun time, man. What's up, Tom Struck? Yeah, you know, I don't have anything against that person. I just thought it was it was just kind of a funny interaction. So it is what it is, man. You right-wing radical. I'm a right-wing radical? Fuck, man. You're moving the goalposts for radicalism quite deep there, man. I don't know if I'd consider myself that. In fact, I probably have more center views than anything else. Anyways, I guess that's just the right side nowadays. When non-binary, I'm feeling MB today. What's up, Nikki Page? Good morning to you as well. Unfortunately, El Satoshi is not here this morning, so I'm actually on my own. I need to continue to set up things because before I got into this stream, I thought I could just play one quick little quick match of chess. Didn't turn out that way. Didn't turn out that way at all. We got into a nice little stalemate as I just sat on the toilet waiting for this stream to start. So I need to prepare all of my charts over here. Then we'll get into it. Want to make sure that I got my notes, or at least what is left of them. Okay, yes, indeed, we have that. That's good. All right, we have a few things. That's good. At least I set that up before we got going here. Let me bring up a few more charts on my own end, as there is actually, I mean, the price action recently has been more or less boring, to be fair, but it is one of those times where you kind of like start to see the stars align in the background and you're like, there's something important going on right here. And it's really actually time to pay attention, as it always is when things get extremely, extremely boring. I mean, those are typically the most important times. I mean, you don't see major, massive, important macro lows, especially on exuberant sort of price action. A lot of the time you see it in very, very boring pieces. I mean, you know, we could call back to, I'll even just bring you to a chart view right here, just kind of illustrate my point. Let me just see, there we go. Nice one. You know, going back to the current macro low of this cycle in December of 2022, right? I mean, that was basically 2 months doing a fuck all range. It was boring as fuck, but of course that was a very important pivot on price action. Then of course like literally 1 year ago, for summer, that was this whole price action right here, right? And so, again, a very tight, very boring range, but important things do happen during these times, obviously. And it's really the point of maximum financial opportunity, if you are going to be taking, especially swing trades within these regions, which I don't really like to swing trade myself. But if you are that type of person, this is kind of this is your time to shine. Actually, let me get another screen over here. I want to get those comments nice into view. Let me just drag this over here. Boom. Okay, there we go. All right. I think I can now actually see the comments on my main screen, which is good. Sweet. Okay. And apparently you can even make a transcript. You can transcript everything that starts with trans is just it's a questionable one now. I'll try and help us. But I very much appreciate that, Nikki. I very much appreciate that. I'm just writing down a few things over here. Okay, I think I almost have all of my charts ready. All right, let's get rid of this one. We definitely need this one. Notes, get back into my viewing space, please, por favor, immediately. This is very important. Oh, and Bitcoin actually did hit the 5-day 21 EMA. Nice. All right. Well, if you're looking for an early indication of a low, probably somewhere around there. Okay, we need that chart. Yes, where's this one? Yes, okay, got that one. You cracking me. Having fun, man. Shout out to my fellow OGs of this channel, says Sean Nevins. Indeed, man. I can confirm Sean is indeed an OG, and we actually have many OGs at this point because, if you've been on this channel now, certainly before 2020, you are an OG just by the definition of things. Welcome to the non-trans binary show. That's confusing as fuck. I don't know what that means. I want to be trans non-binary. That is just fucking poetic. It's like people who trans and then they're gay. Right? It's like, I'm going to become a trans man, but I'm gay. I think you're just gay. You might just be gay, and that's fine. Your man bun exploded. It's never really been a man bun. It's always been like an exploded just conglomeration of hair back there. In fact, I really need a haircut today. All right, I have a shit ton of caffeine left, so we'll chat it out a little bit. I'm still getting set up on my own end as we prepare for this one, but now that I actually look at it, this is becoming incredibly compelling as far as the timing of this low. Wait, is this gonna wow? Okay, that actually perfectly matches up. That is fucking insane. Maybe it's not that insane. When you think about it, but it is what it is. Okay, we got that. Yes. Okay, yes. Okay, we got this one too. Good. All right. And nice. We got this one. Okay. All right. We're starting to look good. Boring summer. Yeah. I do think it is a boring summer. Again, before I was kind of the opinion. What's up, Bear Nutrition? Good to see you, man. Before I was of the opinion that we might see continuation early on in the summer, which would imply that we probably have a shorter cycle overall. But that idea is going to be completely invalidated at this point. Maybe not exactly at this point, but at the end of this month it certainly will. And we're probably in for a boring summer, probably in for a more eventful Q4, and then cycle goes into, I would guess, at least Q1, like till the end of Q1 of 2025. I'm basically looking for like a 6-month spread between breakout and continuation trend of this, of this current structure into the cycle highs. And then after that, very, 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 very unlikely that we get anything more. At least, the high probability play is over. 18 minutes of nothing, says RJ. You can just, log back in on later. It's fucking live stream, man. Like, get with the times. Get in the times, as Elsa says. Elsa has all of like these like fucked up English saying she'd be like, get in the times. Sign me in. It's like, what? I think he meant sign me up. Can you check out the daily Bitcoin bearish breakout confirmed on my chart? Well, Manish, I'd have to disagree. Breakout confirmed. Breakout below, or breakout out of any meaningful breakout is not going to occur as long as Bitcoin is below 70 or above about 60,000. So you're literally in the middle of that range. You are, in my opinion, in the meat grinder. You're in like World War I trenches right now, just getting fucking shot up over no reason. Now, I'm guessing you're probably talking about like a very low term time frame, but in that case, you probably wouldn't have referenced the daily. If you're on very, very low term time frames, yeah, you might have a little bit of a breakout to the downside, but ultimately, Bitcoin, I can easily make a case now that Bitcoin is like, in terms of price action, very, very close to the low, with yesterday's price action down to $64,000 even. I mean, that is starting to get, it's going to start to get like really fucking tight here, I think. Really, really tight. Bitcoin is an accumulation zone. Yeah, I do believe that if you're a very long-term person, it's an accumulation zone. Might you get a little bit better prices? Might you get like 10% better? It's possible, definitely. But if you're very long term, you're probably not too concerned with that. And of course, if you're more of like a DCA, or then it's kind of in your zone, you kind of have to nibble a little bit. Show screen sharing. I'll get into that in a second. I'm just kind of setting things up over here. SEC has permanently suspended investigation into Ethereum. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a foregone conclusion with the way that things have gone in the last, what's it called? With the whole ETF shit. I mean, of course. But yeah, fair enough. Why are you gay? You are gay. I'm just born this way, man. Is there anything wrong with that? I mean, look, we talk about gay shit all the time here. We talk about being gay for TA. What are you trying to say about this? What are you trying to imply? Could they? Sounds like a bunch of anti-trans talk. And we're talking about trans analysis right now. We need Michael's help. Indeed. All right. Let me just write down this one as well. I see Solana versus Ethereum from UC. I'm trying to work a little bit more on this caffeine here. Like I said, I'm getting a little bit later to this one today, but I think we're just about ready, actually. TA for gay? No. I am gay for TA. TA for gay does not make sense. I mean, that makes absolutely zero sense. Not heard anything about Solana recently. Yeah, I mean, Solana does seem kind of like, it's kind of like the forgotten child at this point, but I do suspect that Solana still probably has more to go. I actually look at Solana as the first mover of this current cycle, so it would be a really, really good sign to see that one continue on before actually Bitcoin. In fact, I kind of am looking for signals there more than I am on Bitcoin as of this moment. Hey, Krown, East Bay here. Keek to Sneak or wow, holy shit. How do you even know that? Well, E40, of course you know, but Keek to Sneak, I mean, that guy is like, he's very underground. Keek to Sneak actually would be my pick in this case, but E40 is also a legend as well. Trans for Bollinger Bands. I'm trans for Bollinger Bands, and it rhymes, so you know what it is. It's all good. Random Swedish dude. I am actually random Finnish dude right now as well. Good morning to you, neighbor, although you retracted your message. So looks like that's it. Jupiter has updates today. What's that? Are you talking about Jupiter like the coin? Cool. Cool, man. Does that mean price goes up? Because that's really the only shit that we care about anyways. It's like we all just pretend that it matters. All right, I'm just about ready over here. I just need to put my charts in order now. Notes prepared. Where is my thingy here? Certainly I have this one up. I have to have this one up. I literally don't have the most important chart up. Holy shit, how can I goof that up so early in the morning? All right, now I think we're just about ready. Actually. Okay, boom, and boom. Okay, we got that one. And then this one. Okay, great. All right. And then let me get into the chart view over here. There we go. Okay, lovely. Let me put this to the side over here. Historically speaking, Wednesday has been the most likely to be volatile day for Bitcoin. And in this case, I kind of expect not the same, because it is a holiday after all, with I believe Juneteenth, or at least I think that's today. Is it today? I should look this up. Let me actually look this up one moment here before I get into the opening statement. Yeah, it is. Okay, it literally is. It literally is. Happy Juneteenth to all the celebrators out there. It is a holiday for Bitcoin. In this case, Wednesday has traditionally been the most likely to be volatile day, but because it is a holiday, I don't know if that's going to hold true for today. Obviously, we don't have any major economic events coming out, but as you can see on the high-low range for the price stats indicator, Wednesday, yeah, does have by a pretty large margin the greatest percent range, typically speaking, from high to low as far as any weekdays go. And of course, oh, that also rhymes, so you know where I'm going to go with that. And of course, when we do look at average returns for the positive and negative side, we probably can get yet another good range for today. I do suspect that you're not going to see anything significantly outside of that range just because, well, again, being a holiday, you're probably not going to see any sort of like major massive price movements. So looking at the average return for the positive side, 3.5% versus the average return for the negative side, about 2%. Again, I suspect that we're probably going to see something relatively similar as we have seen basically almost every day since the 21st of May, which is fucking insane. Anyways, from today's open, if Bitcoin were to play out the upside of that trajectory, which I do think is a little bit less likely in this particular case, 3.5% to the upside for reference would put Bitcoin at 67,400. I would also say that if Bitcoin did make a move around there today, probably a good area for a scalp in this case. And to the downside, of course, if Bitcoin were to play out about a just over 2% move to the downside, that would put it slightly below yesterday's lows, which obviously would imply continuation and likely set up for a real move on Thursday, tomorrow, as that will be more of like a real trading day. So I suspect that we continue to see actual price movements. And in this case, Thursday's historically since 2024 began, not a super interesting day overall. Anyways, moving on from there, I do want to talk about the sort of like aligning picture as to why especially this Friday is so important. So this Friday but markets have one of the most important things that happens, pretty much ever, and it happens only 4 times a year. And that would be quad witching. Quad witching is when you get stock options expiration, futures expiration, stock futures expiration, and then index futures and expiration as well. I'm kind of stumbling over my words here because it's a fucking mouthful, but there's 4 major expirations. And the reason why that's important is because it only happens 4 times a year. And because those are major expirations, you get a lot of money managers who are kind of change around their positions around these major dates. They're typically the most, liquid expirations. So you get a lot of activity there. And a lot of the time you will see major pivots on price action from that date. What I've gone ahead and done here is I've marked off all of those prior quad witching dates for Bitcoin throughout its full history with these vertical bars. The red ones correlate to the ones that are in election years or after halving. Same thing, basically, it's one and one and the same. But what's interesting about this is that, yes, when you do look at this, it's very clear that out of 14 of these prior ones, 11 of them were major pivots on price action. What do I mean by major pivot? It was either a major low or a major high before, significant continuation. In this case, major low right here. In this case, major low right here before about a 40% move to the upside. Again, where's another good example? I mean, several over here, very obviously this one yet again a top, and so on and so forth. So what I've also gone ahead and done is I have done a little bit of a study, if I can pull out more, and gone into the total average move that we typically see from these major pivots, and found that just on average, there is a little over a 40% move within about a little over a month and a half, about 52 and a quarter days right there, again, on average. If we bifurcate that and just look at the positive versus the negative side, we can see that the positive side, if we omit one of the major outliers, is about a 40% move on average, just below 40% move. And for the negative side, it would be just under 38%, done in about 50 days. So pretty damn consistent right there, whether it is actually positive or negative. Again, omitting those sort of outliers does bring that average down just below 40% for both of them. But that is going to align with one of our 5-day setups, of course. When we bring up our 5-day setup, I believe it's on this chart right here, we can see that 5-day BBWP, representing volatility, aka the dispersion of returns, is at extreme lows and has been at extreme lows for the longest time since basically last summer, when we did see this whole segment right here. Now, volatility is of course direction neutral, but when we couple that with the direction of the stochastic oscillator, we typically can find a pretty high probability move in that direction. And the average return for those moves, whether it be positive or negative, is, where's my damn chart? This right here, is around 40% as well over the course of an average of 37 days. So, we're starting to see 2 completely different things align right here. However, the volatility setup, as you can see, is not active until we see actual confirmation of volatility expansion, which at minimum, I like to see the BBWP back above 15 percentile. At that point, reference the direction of the stochastic oscillator, which right now is to the downside. So technically speaking, this would be more likely to be a downside setup, to be fair, is going to be a very, very high probability direction. In the case of upside setups, we have seen this actually work out 100% of the time throughout Bitcoin's full history. It's not always going to be that way, obviously, but So far so good into the downside for the when the 5-day stochastic oscillator is positioned down, then we actually have seen about an 80% strike rate for that one to follow through for a pretty large move to the downside. But again, it's not just these two things aligning with each other, it's actually this over here as well. I know I'm gonna get some shit for this, but first things first, what I've done here is I've actually taken a Fibonacci time sequence going from the high, the current all-time high for Bitcoin at just below 74,000 bucks, and the current low, which I do believe, if you are bullish, this is the low, which happened in early May. And if we actually extend that out, we can see that the 2-spot extension right here comes on Friday. What's Friday? Friday is quad witching day. Very interesting. Not only is it quad witching day, but if you want to put on your fucking moon phase goggles, we can also see that that is going to be the next bull moon, which, by the way, the last bear moon, if again, I know that this like really pisses some people off, but whatever. At the end of the day, like, ask yourself, can you trade better than this or not? And if you can't, then shut the fuck up. Or don't. Or don't. But again, you know, this one did work out to the downside, and on Friday you will see a bull moon printed, and so you're gonna have a bull moon plus Fibonacci extension, or sorry, Fibonacci time sequence from the current high to the current low of this structure, and you see quad witching dates as well, which aligns with the volatility versus stochastic momentum setup, which is really, really interesting to me just overall. Anyways, I need to get rid of this Juneteenth stuff over here and get back to my notes, because I was just referencing what day Juneteenth actually is, because, hey, forgive me for not remembering. It's only been around for 1 year or two. I don't even know. and yes, there's one last thing here to add on to this case before I bring this one home. And that is, I didn't bring it on my charts. I done goofed, and it's very embarrassing right here. And this is something that we alluded to yesterday, which is the hash ribbon signal. And the hash ribbon signal did fire off a capitulation I guess signal right there. This was back on over in mid-May. The capitulation signal in and of itself on this indicator is not like, it doesn't really mean that much. It doesn't necessarily mean that price action is going to go down. But what we're interested in is when that blue buy signal does occur. And that is inevitably going to occur after a capitulation signal, and typically does call the low before Bitcoin, you know, trades sideways and up from there, never revisiting that price or below that price on a closing basis ever again. And from the time of a capitulation signal to that blue buy signal, on average, it takes about 45 days. Or a little over, or just under 42 days, right there. And seeing as we already have the capitulation signal, we can forecast out what 42 days would look like. Where would that put us out in terms of time? Next Tuesday, actually. And again, this is an average. We do expect a little bit of variance from there, but I mean, that's just a few days away from Friday. So again, we're seeing so many things come in around that time frame. I would still say hold on to your horses before Friday happens, but in terms of time, we're probably very, 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 very close to the low as of right now. And certainly on the precipice of like a large move, like a 40% move or more, probably. You know, and if you put that into numbers, I mean, that would put Bitcoin, obviously, you know, from its current numbers, if we take that to the upside, that would put Bitcoin in the $90,000 territory. And if it came to the downside, well, it's fucking wrecked. It's 40,000 bucks, and you don't give a fuck anymore, right? So that is the sort of case I wanted to present to today. Again, on any sort of Bitcoin move to the downside right here, I do want to pull back up this chart and just, you know, don't lose the forest for the trees. Ultimately, if you're a long-term investor, it's not the worst place, in my opinion, for a DCA, assuming that you didn't blow your load higher. But can Bitcoin come down in the interim a little bit more? Yeah, absolutely. Between now and at minimum Friday, there is risk to the downside. Absolutely. It's more likely to move to the downside before that date. But I do believe that would be an opportunity. Again, but Bitcoin production cost is, you know, is very close to the bottom end of that channel as of right now. So, you know, just some perspective here, for the long-term people out there in the world. And I think that's probably a good place for me to be leaving off on this particular video. Again, I forgot to bring it up over here, but I do want to let you know that you can still sign up. You can still sign up into, there it is, into the crypto school course that is going to be starting in 8 days, 8 hours, 54 minutes, in 10 seconds and counting. Again, we are just doing cohort 1 as of right now. Don't know how long this will go on for. We're kind of, going to give it a little bit of a test run, see how it goes. So there's no promises, what's going to happen in the future with this. But it is free to join. It does require an exchange account, but that's your account. That's your money. You don't pay anything to the crypto school people. So yeah, that's available for you in the link in the description below. I think other than that, we can probably get into some questions here. If you're listening to this at a later date, well, this is being recorded on a live stream, which you can join it in. Probably be doing more of these, but for like a shorter amount of time. Anyways, that's enough for me today. As always, want to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully next time. All right, nice one, sirs and zers. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of this caffeine. Were Monday and Wednesday not profitable days before this year too, and you reckon they will? No, we have actually seen those days turn around. In fact, Tuesday, historically speaking, has been one of the more profitable days. Okay, I shouldn't say profitable, although I understand what you mean there, but it has a higher probability to close positively than negatively. In terms of in terms of raw profit, like in terms of returns, it's actually Monday. Monday is the one with the highest positive returns. So that would be theoretically your most profitable day. And also, as of right now, has the highest probability to close positively as well. For Tuesday has not always been the lowest probability to close positively. In fact, that's historically been Thursday. So I do believe that in order to properly incorporate these statistics right here, you need to look at market cycle versus market cycle. So what do I mean by that? Right now, I'm measuring just this current cycle as far as data goes. But if I wanted to look at, let's say, a bear cycle and what to kind of expect there, well, I would start it from obviously Bitcoin's last cycle high, and then have the study end during Bitcoin's current low, and those would probably be the relevant statistics for bear markets. It's kind of like my working theory right now. Tim Docky actually has a cool question. Hey bro, sup bro? How you doing, man? Do you trade or do you prefer to buy and hold? So I do both. Well, actually I don't really trade because my bot does it, right? I have I run an algorithm, which you can find a link to in the description below, the Krown Quant automation. There's actually a free trial for that as well. But so I technically don't trade myself, more like a trade strategist. So like I set up the inputs in the background, and I do shit, more like, I'll show you the current strategy, or one of the current strategies I'm running right now. But I basically am just kind of like a trade. Yeah. Like a strategist, like a chess player. I mean, that's actually kind of the way that it works out. But basically, you set up the parameters for a strategy and then it plays out for you. That's really where I want to be. That fulfills my preferences as a trader much better. If we go ahead and backtest this one from like 2018 to current times, you'll get a better idea of what that looks like. Anyways, let me write this down. I do see that there's plenty of other questions. I just want to make sure that I write down all the people who did send in super chats just so I can get to those. Again, I don't have Elsa here today to send me the super chats, but it is what it is. We will go on. Page not found on your crypto school, says Frank. Try clearing your cache or browser. I don't know, something like that, man. Try a different browser, whatever it is. If you still have problems, then check in with the crypto school Discord, because they will help you out. I don't have anything to do with the back end, and that's actually a really, really nice thing about it. In fact, one of the more nice things to work with someone else, more professional sort of like provider, I suppose. They handle all that shit in the background, so I don't have to lose my mind with it. All right, sweet. What's up, Court Smith? Here since the cave. Fuck yeah, man. Or woman. I don't know. Okay, let me get into, let me go one by one here. We're going to start off with Ondo. It is still processing in the background. This is the worst thing about about using these automated scripts, is just waiting for the fucking update here. Anyways, let's go. I want to pull up a fresh chart. Okay, actually, we can. Let's get rid of this one. I need to clear a few things here. There's like too much going on my screens. All right, there we go. Okay, now I got some more real estate. Let's go over to this chart. Okay, you're looking at Ondo. I didn't write down timeframes, but we're just gonna go with it because most people are just interested in like general trajectory. Ondo, not a bad chart here. I don't know what this thing is. I don't know what this thing does. It's only been around since 2024, beginning of 2024, but these are the ones that if you're gonna be playing like shitcoin relay, these are the ones that are going to be better to get into. I do think that you very likely have your next low end right here, basically printed yesterday. You're about to see daily stochastic momentum turn back up with today's closure anywhere above 108, which is healthily above as of right now. It might fish around in this area for a little bit of time, but I do think that it's very likely you already have seen the low or very close to the low, and this one trades sideways for a little bit and probably tries upside if and when Bitcoin has any sort of bounce. This one's relatively strong, actually, a very good example of such things. So this is actually gonna be a really good chart to kind of contrast against what I'm gonna probably be looking at during most of the stream with shitcoin charts. But yeah, not bad. And again, a great example of a new shitcoin that's performing well when it should be performing well, generally just goes up and to the right. That's beautiful. This is going to be probably one of the bigger winners of this cycle, if I had to guess. All right. Okay. And then we have this one symbol. It was MQG. Macquarie from the Australian Shitcoin Exchange. All good. Yeah, again, I don't know what this thing is, don't know what this thing does. Looks like a real stock to me. In this case, this is your next higher low, very obviously. Next move is very likely going to retest your March highs. Long term, does this one continue on from there? Probably yes. It might spend a little bit of time consolidating a little bit above $200, as that is your prior all-time high. But ultimately, this one is in great conditions right now, especially with general world markets rallying to new all-time highs and beyond. So this one, very likely continues on, makes new highs from here. It's going to take time. Obviously, we're on a monthly time frame right here, but overall, this is a very, very good chart, especially long term. Even on the daily, I mean, this breakout looks real to me. Very likely to at minimum test $200 highs in the coming week, and then probably continuation from there for a little bit of a consolidation. All right, I see Solana versus Ethereum very specifically, which should be an interesting one. I don't know what to expect here. Which shitcoin is outpacing which shitcoin? Okay. This is the really difficult thing about looking at shitcoin A versus shitcoin B, right? You get weird charts. I mean, yes, this one does have an actual trend. And technically speaking, you're still on higher lows here. But what I don't like is this heavy turn down on the weekly stochastic oscillator. Now, I'm going to guess you're probably simultaneously about to break. Yeah, break this sort of long-term regression here. So what I'd be interested to see is that by the end of this week, does it fulfill this pivot or not? If it fails this pivot, not 0.0538 or whatever, then very likely this one does break down and you see this one retest whatever the circled low is right here. If by end of week you actually do see it pop back up above this pivot, I would interpret that as this regression still valid and you've just seen the next higher low. So have to wait until the end of the week here. 4 day, basically 4.5 days left to go. But if you're above that number, good. If you're below that number, very likely lower, very likely retest at minimum this low over here before anything else. Sweet. These charts are trans. What are you going to do about it, man? What are you going to do about it, huh? Let me write this one down as well. FTM. We got some prior market cycle shitcoins. Good. Okay, and I see Robinhood. All right, let's type in hood on NAS. And, long term, it probably is good. Short term, it's very likely topping here short term, and the next move is to the downside. Yeah. Nice little, it's technically not an island top, but it is certainly a rejection reversal from there. I'd be looking for this one to pop back down and probably come back closer to $20 even. Long term, it's certainly on higher low watch, but this can take some time here. So, I would give it some time. Let it come down. You're about to see weekly stochastic momentum turn to the downside as well, below 22 or basically 23. You're on a rejection as well. This one very likely comes back down to actually below $20, probably closer to 19. But it's higher. It's oh my God, I can't fucking speak. So embarrassing. It's very likely on higher low watch here though. Long term, I do think is probably going to be good. But short term, yeah, very likely comes down. All right, just need to write down a few more of these. We're making good time though. We're making very, very good time here. All right, DYDX. Okay, I just wrote that one down, but we'll get to FTM first because that has been requested sooner rather than later. Motherfucker, how do I get rid of this shit? I hate that. I fucking hate that. All right. Always typing the wrong damn thing on my keyboard here. I got my sausage fingers just fucking everything up. Okay. Jesus. Can't even type in USD like a true moron. All right, there we go. Okay. Yeah, not an interesting chart, at least in my opinion. Yes, this one very likely is, I mean, you know, long term it's going to be okay, but it's just not interesting compared to anything else. You know, you're in this one long-term range here. There's really not much to be excited about to the upside as long as you're below like 108, 109 region. And to the downside, I mean, yeah, it's probably on higher low watch. Let's see, maybe you're at like the 50% level as of right now. Indeed you are. So, you know, it's probably going to try for a bounce here or relatively soon. I would be very skeptical of that bounce. You know, I think you're a lot more likely to get something like this and it comes back down and you try for a low close to the 786 at 26 cents or so, which is actually a rather large drop. Long term, again, it's just very difficult to get excited about as long as you're below 108, 109 region on higher term time frames. Daily time frame, do we have anything indicative of this being a low right here? Not really, but it very likely does bounce in the short term. We are going to see daily stochastic momentum turn back onto the upside above 50 cents. Which it's, you know, 10% above as of right now. So, you know, it's probably going to try for a bounce, can very easily bounce back up to 70 cents, but that's just another lower high. I don't think that this is the low just here, just yet. Yeah, I would wait on this one, to be honest with you, but you know, I guess 55 cents to maybe even 70 cents. That is a pretty big move, to be fair. All right, sweet. When hot tub streams, monk us. I actually do have a bathtub. I tried to put I tried to put a hot tub on our balcony. Not gonna work, and they don't do that in Finland. That's just not a thing here. All right, DYDX, let's check it out. DYDX, I remember this is a prior market cycle shitcoin as well, so always have to be more. Okay, I don't know if this is the correct one. Let's go to a different one, just to see. Okay, yeah, it is the same chart there. All right, you know, look, whenever you see a chart like this, man, it's fucking bad. Like, it's really fucking bad. Can it bounce? Sure, you know, and that can be applied to, you know, most altcoins that we're gonna see. You know, it can very easily bounce, and percentage-wise, it can bounce, you know, good amount. I mean, it could bounce up to like, well, you know, $2 quite easily here. But long term, this is terrible. This is terrible. In 2023, when everything else in their mother was rallying to the moon and beyond, this thing was to new all-time highs, I should add. This thing is nowhere near its prior all-time high. Its prior all-time high, for reference, is deep into the $20 territory. And the highest it got in this current cycle with everything else that has, you know, a modicum of strength in this market, it got up to $4. I mean, again, this chart is very deceiving because it's on log scale. That's down 87 fucking %. So you know what that means? You know what that means? Fuck! That's what it means. It means fuck, sir. It means fuck. All right, we'll look through some more of these shitcoins here. Chaotic Rage is looking at CAS, K-A-S. Okay, let's check this one out. Let's see what we got. When I pressed that button, by the way, I didn't know what was going to happen. So it was just a red color. So I figured it would be a good one. Okay, CAS. Okay, so long term, actually a good example of a good chart here. You know, continues on with its overall long-term trend, or, you know, the long-term trend is just to the upside, which is good, obviously. However, in the short term, is this one ready to do anything super interesting to the upside? Very unlikely. I think it's going to be consolidating here for quite some time longer. It does look like we hit whatever this targeted circle region here off the 618 was. I'm guessing this was from the crypto banter stream over this past weekend. And while it does bounce from here, you know, it's bouncing pretty healthily, I'd say, as well. I mean, that is a percentage-wise, like, over 10% bounce, close to a 12% bounce. It can certainly bounce a little bit closer to maybe even 15 to 16 cents. I don't think that this is the low that you're going to create new highs from just yet. You know, probably ends up looking something like this. You know, get a little bit of an attempt for a bounce, come down, and I'd be looking closer to, you know, 11, 12 cents, somewhere down around here would be the area that I'd probably be looking for on the next higher low. If we go over here to the weekly, I mean, it's again not bad long term, and kind of similar to one of the other charts that we saw earlier today. this one very likely to be a big beneficiary if Bitcoin shows any strength. But, you know, as long as Bitcoin's consolidating, I think you're still waiting here. And I don't think you've seen the next sort of major low just yet. Monthly's kind of looking a little bit ugly here too as of this moment, but I don't know how much weight I put on that with just this much data available. So I'll hold off on comment there. All right. Let's see. Let me just pull back up on over here. This reminds me of the old times where I actually had to read my own comments, which is it's actually kind of fun. Okay. Let's see. RNDR versus Bitcoin, says Rion. This is actually a really, really great request, not just because I already know that RNDR is like decent, but looking at things versus Bitcoin, I do think is the better corollary to be making during this portion of the market cycle. Like, are you outpacing Bitcoin or not? If you're not, well, do you even need me to finish the statement? No, you don't, because you're smart. In this case, long term, it is on an uptrend versus Bitcoin, which is good, which is a really, really good sign. And I happen to already know that the US dollar chart is decent from memory. Short term, has it found a nice little low right here? Yes, very likely rallies up from here. We do see bullish divergence of many drives actually coming off of the daily stochastic oscillator, with the stochastic oscillator about to reclaim the critical zone and cross the upside. I don't know the exact price right there because it's got too many decimal points, but ultimately I'd be looking for this one to bounce quite a bit. Let's see what sort of areas it's likely to bounce towards. At least 1,300 Satoshis, I would imagine. I wouldn't be surprised to see it closer to 1,500 Satoshis, or maybe even 1,600 Satoshis. Ultimately, it's in a bounce. It's on a bit of a daily bounce right here. Again, same thing to say as many other altcoins, in the sense that as long as Bitcoin's consolidating between 60,000 to 70,000 bucks, I wouldn't expect certainly any breakouts to new highs or anything super exciting. But if and when Bitcoin does make an upside move, this one will benefit more pound for pound, most likely. All right. John Brooks says, Rose versus the dollar, daily, weekly. My dog loves to listen to you. Nice. Like your dog, like your homie, or like your actual pet? Because I got some questions, man. What the fuck does that mean? All right, let's look at Rose. Oh, this one's gonna be real fucking good, I'm sure. Yeah, here we go. Rose versus the dollar. It's a 2021 shitcoin. Nowhere near its per all-time high. Very fucking bad. Yes, can it bounce from here? Sure. Yeah, fair enough. But long term, it's better to stay away from these sort of things, at least in my opinion. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor, and do with it as you will. I'm just telling you what I would do in these sort of situations. Short term, does it try for a little bit of a bounce from here? Sure, maybe, but anything below what is this high right here? Your mid-June highs is just it's irrelevant. I expect that this one does fish a little bit lower first before anything else. And again, just another example of a 2021 shitcoin that's nowhere near its per all-time high. Again, and this is like super deceiving here. This is the real chart. It's extremely unlikely to ever get anywhere near its per all-time high at almost 60 cents, or yeah, basically 60 cents. I mean, shit, even if you took out your sort of June highs, maybe get a rally to 20 cents. But I don't think this one's doing anything super interesting long term. Again, much better things to be in as of this moment that don't have this sort of overhead hang that you get from a lot of these 2021 shitcoins. If you see charts like this, I'm not gonna fucking like. Doesn't mean that it can't bounce a little bit, sure. And sometimes those can be big percentage wise bounces. But in terms of like long term, which I think is where most people are coming at, the angle from. Just fuck this. Garbage. Absolute garbage. Let's see. CZ. Holy shit, it's him. Aren't you in jail or something? TLT monthly. Okay. TLT. I'm guessing you're talking about this, not like a TLT. I don't know. Is there some sort of a crypto? No, there's not. Okay. That actually erases some of the confusing shit. 20-year treasury bond. I do not analyze bonds. I do think that it requires like I think it requires more of like an actual bond trader, because these things do trade, differently in my opinion, or at least from what I know. If I had to call it right here, are you going to rally from this region? Sure. Yeah. Very likely, retest above $100, probably closer to like $110. This one is on a bounce right now, extremely likely. Let's see what the quarterly looks like as well. I'm guessing you have at least something resembling a bottom here. Yeah. To me, this is a macro bottom in the making. So what does that mean? Well, you can extrapolate on top of that. I'm just looking at the chart in this particular instance. But if your question is basically, you know, what does a long term look like? I think that you're looking at like a macro low here. Next move is to the upside. I'm not saying that this is going to be like the low that, you know, prints back up towards many hundreds, but very likely test back up at least above 100 on this one, and then continues on with like a sideways range for a long time. Something like this, where, you know, you get this sort of boring tight range, and, you know, next move up, blah 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 blah, plays ping pong, and then, you know, probably breaks out a little bit later. But again, I'm not a bond trader, and I happen to know a couple, and I know that it's a different thing. It's a different skill set in my experience, or at least from what I know. Okay, we have HFIFM, HFIFM, FET USD. Okay, I'm guessing this is another 2021 shitcoin. I'm guessing we're gonna get the same shitcoin chart that you always get when you look at a 2021 shitcoin, and I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong on this one. Actually, very, very good chart. Again, this is an example of a 2021 shitcoin that didn't just trade above its 2021 highs. It made significantly new highs, really impressive right there. But what's not impressive about it is giving up all of these gains at the first chance that it gets. I mean, that's down 70% from the high. It's not a good sign long term. But I suspect that this one is highly volatile and can probably bounce quite a fair bit. We do see that there is starting to be some bullish divergence on the daily stochastic oscillator, and will turn up today any sort of close above 120. So, you know, are you fishing for a bounce here? Probably yes. There might be one more wick to the downside to retesting yesterday's low, but I suspect that this area is going to be a bounce area. And next move generally outside of this range is going to be to the upside, but losing 70%, you know, off of that high is like... That's a worrying sign, man. That is a very worrying sign, just in general. Anyways, see Crypto Forever. What's up, man? 2019. Holy shit. Where do the crypto OGs start to get declared as of now? Because when I first came into this market in 2016, 2017, you had to be pre-2014 to be considered like an OG. But now that we're in 2024, like 8 years later, what constitutes a crypto OG at this point? Hive Mapper Weekly. I mean, because if you've been around since 2019, you've seen bull market, you've seen bear market, you've seen actually multiple cycles, and you've even seen a couple of black swans. You saw FTX, you saw Luna, you saw the Rona. The Rona. Okay, Hive Mapper. What the fuck is this thing? Hive Mapper. Honey. I love Honey. Honey's great, man. Terrible, really bad, really fucking bad. Fuck! And I've just gotten a message on Discord. Cut it out, Elsa. No girls allowed in this cave, except for Nikki. All right. Yeah. So that's just a god awful chart. You'll have more success masturbating with sandpaper. John Brooks says Ethereum versus the dollar on the daily and weekly. All right, let's check out Ethereum. So I made a video on Ethereum. I think it was it last weekend or the weekend before that? I don't know what it was. It was probably like 2 weekends ago, actually, suggesting that low 3,500 is actually a good area. And while it has certainly traded below that area, it's actually not really closed significantly below 3,500. And it does look to me like it's actually getting ready for a bit of a bounce attempt here. Daily stochastic momentum is actually healthily to the upside as long as you're above 3,440 today. I don't think you're going to see like a tremendously nasty move today either side, so that probably remains to the upside coming into tomorrow. And at that point, I'd be looking for this one to retest your 16th of June highs, which is 3650. At that point, if you see any sort of closure on a daily above that high, I would look at this as actually confirming what I laid out in that video as this being the next major low. But it's not quite there just yet. You know, again, I wouldn't consider that confirmed until you're back above June 16 high, but it's doing what it needs to do for that to be like a legitimate consideration as of right now, and probably the more high probability thing, which actually begs like a really good question. If Ethereum might be bottoming right there, what does it mean for Bitcoin? It probably means that Bitcoin's doing something relatively similar as well. Again, when we talk about, finding the low, oops, I left that up a little bit too. Oh man. Anyways, referring to this area right here, in case that was maybe covered by the graphics going on the screen. But yeah, again, between now and Friday, I still believe that there is risk. If there is going to be a downside move, you probably see it happen, starting before then, which I mean, you kind of already have seen, to be fair. But it does deserve consideration for Bitcoin that you're starting to see it hit like some major areas. 5-day 21 exponential has been hit, which, just going off of past cycles, like it's not perfect, but when you're around it in a bull cycle, those are great long-term buys. When you're around it in a bear cycle, those are long-term great sells. But yeah, sometimes you don't need to make it any more complicated than that. But yeah, all right. Going back into it. Waves for Life says Solana versus the dollar. Daily Weekly, my brother, you ever get into Living Legends? Is that like League of Legends? Actually, no. Underground Cali hip hop. No. Maybe. It sounds familiar. Not League of Legends though. All right, Solana versus USD. I know all the Bay Area rappers, not I'm guessing that's probably Southern California. Okay, Solana, yeah, not as strong as Ethereum in the short term, but finding a bounce here, as are most things. Could it maybe fish yesterday's wick one more time? Perhaps yes, but you're closer to a bounce here than not. Let me actually go back to this chart, although I do notice that there is some hidden bullish divergence building right there. All right, let's go over here. Boom. I want to see what momentum's looking like. Oh, looks like my LARP lines are in there still as well. Yeah, again, daily stochastic oscillator turning up here above 132. It's healthily above that as of right now for today. You're a lot closer to a bounce here than not. Still, we need to see it back above 160 before I say it's kind of in the clear. But for right now, give it a chance to bounce on the daily and come back to it probably next week. Obviously, if it does trade below yesterday's low and closes below yesterday's low, it's very likely a breakdown and come in, and you're probably going to see, moves closer to $1. Sorry, not $1, but $100. But for right now, I'd give it a chance here to bounce. I think most things are in for a little bit of a short-term bounce, regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish. It's kind of, to the downside, it feels like one of those instances where price was kind of spinning its wheels, but not really getting anywhere. I mean, yes, it did come down, but not anything like super concerning for the long term. Anyways, I'll take a few more sips of this and we'll get into Mr. Vish M. Dakar. These stupid fucking, man, I really hate this environmental bullshit with these paper straws. Like, for real, paper straws in a paper. I love it when you have a paper straw in a plastic cup. Like, that makes a lot of fucking sense, right? Can we just stop pretending? Maybe. Okay, Vish says, can you please get in the times? I'm getting in the times, sir. No problem. One of Elsa-isms. I'm getting the times. Sign me in. Shit's about to get down. OM versus USD. Daily and weekly. All right, let's check it out. Mantra. Okay, so I guess I understand where the name's coming from now. Okay, so we have is this 2017? No, it's 2021 shitcoin, but traded above its prior highs. It's good, better sign long term than most things. Short term, similar to a lot of the other charts that we've seen today. It's very close to a bounce here. It might drag a little bit further to the south, closer to 60 cents or even 56 cents, but ultimately very likely setting up for a bounce relatively soon here. I don't know if I'd say that that's likely to start today. Weekly is still downside pressured, so I would say this one likely has a little bit lower to go and tries for a bounce a little bit lower here, and then we come back to it after that. But once it does bounce, it could very easily bounce back up towards 70 to 80 cents. I mean, that is a big percentage move, to be fair. But for right now, especially between now and Friday, this one could very easily drag a little bit lower first before trying for that bounce. All right. Okay, got a few more sippies here. Okay, all right. Alex says Chad Frog versus Ethereum. What the fuck? A sheet coin. All right. Is it Chad Frog? That's the actual name, Chad Frog. Jesus Christ, man. All right. Well, let's give it a look. Sir? It's not good. But let's see the other one just in case, because there was a couple of different tickers that popped up there. Also not good. Look, the problem with looking at stuff that's this new from like early April, yeah, sure, I guess it could theoretically bounce like out of nowhere. I mean, I think that's the real hope or hopium with these sort of types of shit coins or meme coins. That's not a game for me. That's not a game that I play. I don't have any real technical analysis here that I'd stand by. If I was looking at like a real chart, I'd say, okay, you're starting to print some divergences. Momentum, if it starts to turn up, then sure, yeah, you're probably in for a bounce. But you can see that all of the upside attempts that it's had since, mid-April, since its inception, have all just sold off. So I don't know how much I trust something like this, man. Yeah. If I had to call it, it probably tries for a little bit of a bounce here, but just like all the other bounces, I think it's going to sell off again, most likely. We love the pee-pee, says friend. Nice, man. I'm gay for TA as well. Sweet. So let's figure out what other sort of shitcoins we can look at on this particular stream. Man Red, and I'm Man Bear. Can you please check spell token? All right. Sounds legit, sir. Okay. It's on Coinbase, so it can't be like super, super bad, but it's also on Poloniex, so it might. All right. Oh, God. Oh, no. Elsa's home. Hey, I have a really cool chart for you to come check out. Do you hate money?
The party's over. I'm back.
The party's over. Yeah, man. You don't want me to tell you that this is absolute garbage. Sergeant Barnacles, Mr. Barnacles reporting in. Please, sir, dog versus USDT. Okay, dog. What's up, dog? Is this dog coin? Because I mean, you like. Okay, okay, it must be. Okay, but this is dog coin. Okay, I'm guessing it's this, whatever the fuck this is. All right, I'm going with this one. I'm going in.
Don't need the stupid shit coins.
No, they're bad. They're bad. They're really bad.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, no shit. Elsa is pissed off today, by the way. She's mad. She's real mad. How was your workout?
She killed me.
She killed me. It was hard. Are you getting in the times?
I'm getting in the times now. Stop being gay.
Elsa just said, in case you didn't hear that, I'm getting in the times, stop being gay. Sorry, miss, but I can't do that. I'm one, gay for TA, and two, it's June. In June, you should know, is LGBTQ plus IA, whatever the fuck month. Why is indigenous included in the LGBT? I bet you indigenous people are like, because I don't know if you ever met an indigenous person, but they're usually like not the most accommodating of other sort of like views. They're probably like, the fuck? You're putting me with those? Like, they're probably pissed off, man. Really pissed off. Anyways, as far as dog goes, another kind of hard one here, honestly. It doesn't really have a lot of history here. I mean, obviously, this is a nice move, but going back to April of this year, it's better than the last chart we saw, that's for sure. Does it try for another bounce off this region? Very likely, yes. I think best case scenario here, it continues to hold the range. You see maybe a move closer to the range highs, somewhere between like whatever the hell, 7/10 of a cent to almost 8/10 of a cent. But of course, there's no more excuses to be made on this one if you see closures below whatever the hell this number is right here. So perhaps something like this. Obviously, very, 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 very good, and probably retest per all-time highs if you can see it trade above these rejective highs in this range. But for right now, I do think you're going to continue on with the bounce. but this is a 4-hour time frame, so not super super useful there. Okay, let's move on. Mr. CZ says cores daily, weekly. Okay, I've never seen this. No, not whores. The fuck is wrong with you? Cores daily. Is this a real stock? I'm guessing this is a real stock because I don't see any shitcoins with this name. Okay, so this is a shitcoin of a stock. It's been around since actually January. Okay. I mean, I think it's top for a while, man. You might see a little bit of a short-term bounce here, but I do think that this one will come back down, somewhere below $8 before it tries for like a real bounce. But weekly stochastic momentum turning down on a rejection, on extreme volatility as well. This one's very likely coming down in the short term. It's top for a while is what I'm trying to say. Moving on, we have Chaotic Rays. He says AKT. Okay, this is a cash network. I pretty much got them. You should just, I don't know, be in the chat and try not to be miserable. Daily. Hold me, I'm scared. Yeah, I get it. I do think it's going to try for a bounce here. Again, most things today are aligning with short-term bounces, right? So retest is this low. I don't think it's a strong chart. I don't think it's a chart that's going to be making like significantly new highs above its current high in this cycle. But, are you going to bounce here? Very likely, yes. This one can bounce hard too. It can bounce. This one could bounce to like $4, $4.50, and very easily, and not really do all that much. Could still be overall bad, but short term, yeah, I do think it bounces here. You got a few drives of bullish evidence on daily stochastic, and momentum is to the upside right now. I think you're gonna get a bit of a mean reversion play as volatility cools off on the daily. So next move, very likely up. I don't think this one's ready to break down here. What are you oh my godding about? Charles McIver says NVIDIA. Okay, NVDA. Okay. I actually have not looked at NVIDIA in a long time. Holy shit. Just continues to go up and up and up and up and up and up. That's a good chart. Now, is it toppy here? The problem with these is that when you try to pick a top, you can easily get very blown out. I wouldn't be calling any sort of tops as long as it's above 130 on a minimum weekly closing basis, and even then probably more like a monthly. But for right now, this one could go on for more. I don't know how much more it has left. I suspect not that much more because bless you, but also shut up. Sorry. I do think that this one is very, very close to the highs. I mean, when you see max or nearly maximum volatility in these sort of cases on extreme momentous moves, you're probably very, very close to the high in terms of timing. But if this were to go on for like another month, who knows how fucking high it could go? Because it's more of a time equation rather than a price equation here. The easy call would be if it closed below like $130 at the end of this month. I'd be calling a high, but for now, I think still kind of have to be bullish on this actually. No real targets in mind. This one's in price discovery. This one's in like true parabolic phase. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life, in my trading career, is to just step out of the way of these things. They always go higher than whatever you think. Dragos, very nice name actually, very cool name. KNS versus wrapped Ethereum. All right. Oh, it's Kenshi coin. No, not kimchi. Short term, very likely bounces from here. Can back up to like 2.5 cents or 2.5 butyrols. Somewhere around here minimum. But long term, hard to get excited about this thing as long as it's below your May highs. Above your May highs, yeah, sure, retest your prior time highs. But when I see price action like this on a shitcoin, or at least something that I've never heard of, I'm a little bit more skeptical of it. Obviously, extremely bearish if you see this one anywhere below this May low right here. But next move, very, 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 very likely bounces here. You're on low volatility, putting in what would be a nice low there on momentum turning up. Yeah, next move up. Let's see. Bubbles, please. BSX, long term. All right, is this a crypto or like a real stock? I'm going to type in the usual crypto shit here and see what pops up. It is a crypto. No, it's not. Okay, I'm guessing it's a real stock. Boston Scientific Corporation. Well, what is going on with you? Okay. Elsa's like in fucking Zoomer mode right now or some shit. Okay, again, long term, very fucking good long term. But kind of like the Nvidia chart, it's like, do I want to call a top here? Not yet, but very close. If you see Friday under like $77, yeah, okay. You know, if it closes here or lower on Friday, I do think next move is going to be down, and you're probably going to try for a higher low in like the very low 70s. Long term, obviously, I'm not going to hate a chart like this. I don't think you've actually seen the all-time highs just yet. I think that you at least get one more quarter, but it's close. It's very close. All right. Let's see. Whoops, I just lost my place. One moment. All right. Hold on. Where did we go? Yes, there we go. Okay, nice one. Mo Sanchez. Mr. Sanchez says Snapchat. All right. Snapchat. Holy shit. I remember when this thing went IPO. I have not used the app in basically since over here. I did used to use it with you, but then I grew up. Yeah, terrible chart. Absolutely terrible chart. It's like the shitcoin of a chart. The real question is, okay, you're on a daily, weekly. The real question is, do you fill this gap here or do you retest the highs first? This one's actually a really tough one because you are starting to see 1, 2, 3 higher lows. So overall, I do think that you have a major low in here, just in this area. And generally, it's going to probably trade to the upside and probably retest somewhere around like low 20s. If I had to guess, somewhere around this price action right here. But does it happen like now? Close this month above 16 and yes. Close this month below 16, still ranging. Not much to say about it other than that. Long term, hate it. Long term, absolutely hate it. But I don't know if that's what you're interested in. Mo Sanchez is back. He's looking at U.S. oil. Okay, let's check it out. Oil is another one that I fucking would never want to trade. When is your next boxing match? Hopefully in September in Singapore, but finding an opponent is becoming like rather difficult and annoying. It's really shitty because like it's really difficult to find someone else who has like an actual following and who wants to fight as well. Because I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, there's nothing to be gained from it. I mean, fuck, we don't even get paid for it. Like, it's bullshit, honestly. But it is fun. It's fun. If you ever try to kill someone else, I mean, it's pretty fun. This is why I don't like fucking U.S. oil or any oil or any sort of gas related products. I mean, just really fucking hard. Overall, it just ranges on the very long term. I mean, this is going back to 2008, right? Is the next move to the upside? Very likely, yes. Very likely, yes, the next move is to the upside. Probably at least retesting your April highs at like $87. Personally speaking, I do think that you will test a little bit higher than that into the low 90s, but you know, long term, it actually probably does break out to the upside from there. I mean, this is a major low in the making, and I would just be generally bullish on it as long as it's above about basically $76. Oops, lost my place again. Whoopsies. Okay. Finally, what? Bonk. Michael Longcar says AGIX. Long-term point of view. Okay, got it. Don't know what long-term means to you, but I'm just going to go my version of long-term then, I guess. Bad. Yes, it has traded above its 2021 highs, but Jesus fucking Christ, man. Whoa. Another 70% downer right there. Probably setting up for like a relatively strong bounce soon. It's going through all my lines. No, of course, lines don't fucking work. You know, is it close to a bounce here? Yes. Does it fish yesterday's wick again to the downside before it tries for a bounce? Maybe. But generally, as long as you're closing above 50 cents, I do believe that next move is to the upside, and you're probably going to test somewhere around like 70 to maybe even like 80 cents. That would still be a lower high long term, and long term, this one does look like it probably has seen its top for the cycle. But it can bounce very hard from here. It could bounce some like this, still be a lower high, and then continue on with the overall downside. And that's what I think is exactly going to happen, to be honest with you, man. Only way I'd get bullish on this one if you trade back above your May highs. All right. Got that one. Got that one. Tesla, says Charles McIver. All right. Weekly, monthly. Nice one. Specifying the time frames as well. That's awesome. Tesla, NASDAQ. Let's see. Weekly. Yeah. I don't know when I circled this one. Must have been months ago, but this is a low. This is a low here, or extremely likely to be a low, I should say. You know, trading anywhere above $200 or sorry, 205, and very likely to see this one maybe even retest close to 300 overall. But I mean, that's going to take a long time. This is a monthly overall, but consolidated within this region, you know, it's starting to look like an actual macro low forming here. And even on the weekly, I do think, yeah, next move is very likely to be upside. As long as you're above $170, you know, just continue to look closer towards 200 to 205, breaking out above 205, and this one can go on for quite a fair bit more. But long term, to kind of give you my thoughts, I think it's put in a macro low here. I think it's going to take a long time. This is a quarterly chart. This could take like another half year to a year. It could take a long time, man. But the next big step would be getting back above 205. That would make it like really look like a, you know, a macro low in the making. Or confirmed, I should say. All right, Michael Longcar is back. He's looking at RNDR. I think we looked at this one earlier, but maybe we looked at it versus like a different thingy. Yeah, good one long term. And just like most of the other ones we've seen today, I do think that it is bouncing off this region. Don't know what these are from, but you get the same sort of momentum signals here, right? Daily, little bit of bullish divergence. Turning back onto the upside above $7. Next move is very likely to the upside. I would be expecting a retest of your like last weekend highs at $8.50. Is that $8.50? Yeah, $8.50. Relatively soon. Continuing within this overall sort of sideways here is generally going to be good for this one long term. You know, this one does certainly stand out compared to a lot of the other charts we've seen today, but really want to see it bounce like hard from here, not retesting these lows or anything like that. Yeah, as long as you're above $7, I'd be looking closer to like realistically like $9, nine to 9.5. That'll start to look better long term. All right. Okay, we're getting close to the end here. Probably going to close down the super chats as well because we're well above an hour now, and I'm getting tired, man. Mishad, Mr. Had. Mr. Had. Bonk, thoughts? Short and long term. Bonk, thoughts? Well, it's probably garbage, but we can look at the chart. No, not a bad chart. Not a bad chart at all. I do think you've topped out here, though. Long term, I think that you've probably seen the highs here, but short term, does it rally? Sure, yeah. I mean, it very likely rallies, maybe even all the way back up towards your, I don't know, what is this, like mid-June highs, somewhere around this red circle here. Technically, it is on a higher low right now, but a lot of the time on shitcoins, you see the same sort of thing where it's like 3 peaks and then the divergence plays out. And this one does have 1, 2, 3 drives of weekly bearish divergence. I mean, obviously it's already played out a pretty significant move to the downside, right? I mean, that is, you know, over a 50% move. So while I do think that this next short-term move is to the upside, anything that really fails to reclaim like 32,000 or something, whatever the fuck that number is, close the damn super chats for fuck's sake.
What did you say?
You know, is probably just gonna be another lower high before heading lower long term. Damn, voice is starting to hurt. Bean it. All right, I bean it. All right, no more super chats after this moment. I'll do all the ones before this moment, but for fuck's sake, my voice not doing well. Okay, got that. I think we just have a few more here. Jay Clark, y'all. GPU. Wait, hold on. Do I have that right? OGPU. Okay, OGPU. PU. All right, this is a new one for me. I've never seen this. Open GPU. Okay, sounds cool. Yeah, not cool. Again, short term, very likely bounces here. Might even bounce back up to like 90 cents, maybe even $1. But long term, you know, hard to get excited about it as long as you're below this June high. Above that June high, then yeah, it's very likely to make new all-time highs. But for right now, short-term bounce, very likely. Does it reclaim that high or not is a question. If it fails to do that, probably within this next month or two, then probably just be looking for this one to range for a while and then die later. But for now, next move very likely to the upside. You know, as are most of these. Full out 4chan on Ethereum. Okay. I'm sure that this one has a shit ton of price action history. Yes. Another absolute garbage chart. This one was born in 2023. Had a nice initial move. When everything else in their mother was making new all-time highs, this one could not get anywhere near its prior all-time highs. You know, just like most of these shit coins, it can bounce. It can even bounce a lot, but generally, I don't think you're gonna see ever again above this high right here. It's gonna be, you know, short-term bounce, boom, down, boom, down, just dead heartbeat. Only way I'd get bullish on this one, it's like I can't really get bullish on this one. Just for moves like that, most likely. Jacob Virgel DDos says Roku stock daily, a weekly, monthly. Sure. All right, Roku, a real stock. Okay, weekly, long term. This is the chart of a shit coin, sir. This is a shit stock. I mean, look, it's closer to a bounce and it's not. Does it trade a little bit lower here before it tries for a bounce? Maybe. Okay, when I say a little bit lower, I mean it could easily trade towards like $45, which is a big move for it right now. Long term, just terrible, man. Just really, really bad. Really, really bad. You have yet another, like you just printed a lower quarterly swing high. Terrible long term. Short term, I think it probably tries another downside move, especially if you close this week out below like 53.80. I think that this one will like probably retest around the current lows, and then maybe it tries for, you know, another bounce from there. But just nothing ever good about a chart that looks like this. Never, ever. I shouldn't say never ever, but it's not. But like very unlikely. All right. Now you're also looking at Bitfarm stock. How high before possible top? Never. There's no way to know this kind of stuff, man. It's easier to tell after you have the high. That's the problem. Like people think that technical analysis is a predictive mechanism. No, it's a probabilistic mechanism. How high before possible top? I mean, I don't even know what the fuck was I drawing here? Some bullshit lines. It's probably entertaining some silliness. I don't think that you've topped out just yet. I do think that this one will retest your February highs. I think it could even trade up closer to like maybe even like $4.50 to $5 longer term. I don't think that you've seen the high just yet. I don't think that you've seen. But I also think that you're probably ranging here for a while as well. Looking at a quarterly, yeah, okay, low, very likely in, but sideways enough from here. Look, I'm not seeing anything that's indicative of this one like put in a high really anytime soon. I mean, maybe around end of year in terms of timing, but hard to do in something like this. I would just be generally looking for this one to continue up and to the right, maybe even as much as $4.50 to $5, and then come back to it after that. And that can take some time, man. I mean, this again is a monthly chart here. Okay, MOG USD. I think we looked at this one. Did we look at this one? MOG coin. Well, it sounds super legit. Like most shitcoins right now, which this one admittedly is doing a lot better than certainly many things that we've seen today. Very likely looking for an extension of this bounce. You know, could very easily bounce up. What the fuck number is this? Just whatever this area is right here in the short term. You know, you do have a higher low as of right now. I'm basically looking for a range to form between this area and this area, and I'd be looking for something like this, you know, in the short term, like bum, 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 you know, whatever, something like that. Perhaps the name strikes me as like another meme coin, so perhaps it's not wise of me to be looking at for something like somewhat legitimate here, but hey. At the very least, I'd be looking for this bounce to extend and for a range to emerge, and then you can kind of play the range game. Does it break out of the upside? Okay, retest the highs. Does it break out of the downside? Okay, retest those prior lows. Not much to do other than that, in my opinion, on these things. What's up, Alex? Good morning to you, man. Good morning to you from the best country in the world, Greece. Cool. Actually, I think now we are at the end. Do my superverse, please, in all capitals. Sure, man, but don't yell at me. Superverse coming down to the 786 fib here. Like most shit coins, probably going to bounce. Need to see this bounce get back above like a buck. Otherwise bad. All right. Actually, I do want to look at Matic just because I remember this one from the prior market cycle. It did die?
Yeah.
Holy shit, this stream's been so long, my camera died. All right, we'll look at this one, then we'll call it a day. Yeah, terrible for Matic, terrible. Is it going to bounce off this region yet again at 50 cents? Yes, very, very, very likely yes. It can bounce significantly as well. It can bounce towards like 90 cents to a buck. But long term, just bad. You know, I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing do like blah, 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 blah. If Bitcoin shows any weakness, it'll break down. If Bitcoin shows any strength, it'll go up, but not as much pound for pound. So, yeah. All right, Banana Man, last one for you just because you're one of the OGs of OGs of OGs. We'll do look at PayPal. Okay, PayPal holdings. Terrible chart. Similar to one of the other shitty stock charts that we looked at earlier. You know, it has this one like initial massive move to the upside and then just dead from there. Short term, another lower high, momentum to the downside, very likely retest somewhere, you know, around mid to low 50s, somewhere between like 54 to $50 even. Might even continue to new lows from there. Pretty ugly on all higher term time frames. I think at best long term, at best, like best case scenario, you see a range emerge for like 5 years. Something like this. And even that I wouldn't feel too confident about. I think that this one could very easily even make new lows from here. All right. I think that's going to do it for today. My camera is dead, which is a sign to myself. My voice is dead, which is also a sign to myself. And we got a lot of people watching right now, which is awesome, man. 1,200 people watching during this very boring time of the market cycle. I want to shout out to all the people watching at this moment. It's been an absolute pleasure. A lot of fun chit chat going on. Again, I always want to remind people, I'm not talking shit about any particular person. I only talk shit about charts. And yeah, we saw some shitty ones today. We saw some really bad ones today. Some just awful ones. So I'll leave you with this. As always, I want to wish you the best of the best. Take care, much love, and fuck you, and see you tomorrow.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, XR, pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate. Pause it, list it, send it,